It's its own weird kind of loading mechanism, but that does not make enough for a video, does it? I mean, how boring is that? Just say, look, it ejects a little bit different. No one cares about that. But
one thing I noticed is that the eject button has mostly a mechanical design to it. There's actually a metal piece here. See, I just actually pushed it with my finger there. When you push the button, it not only just engages a switch here on the front panel, it actually moves a mechanism back and forth that's spring loaded, and there's a micro switch here that tells it when the door is all the way open. So that's kind of a unique design. I haven't seen it before in a tray loading CD player. And I'll give you the audio of this little gear motor loading the CD. This tape player is not working at all. Only this one works. And these stupid doors don't stay closed. I did try this out before, and unfortunately it doesn't work correctly on the tape. It probably needs belts. I tried playing, and it played for a little bit, and then it stopped and the tape got all unspooled inside. I'll hit play just for a little bit so you can hear it, the mechanism. Alright, stop that before it unspools. Alright, and eject. See, already unspooled. You have to do the secret button here, and then I don't want to ruin my Phil Collins tape. So has a dual cassette deck, although this one just gives you play and stop. So it's really only good for dubbing one cassette to another. It does have AC bias recording, but there is no Dolby or tape type selector. It is a 35mm film camera. And a cheap one at that. It's just a fixed focus, non-zoom lens. But it also has a cassette compartment with an audio cassette in it. You can get it out. But it doesn't record anything on the cassette, so it's not like a Pixel Vision. It's just a Walkman style cassette player. It's not even a very good cassette player at that. So you get the standard cheap Walkman style play, fast forward and stop, and eject. So that's the fake tape compartment. They even put the little push thing on there, just like the Sony, which says push. This may look like a video game console, but it's not. It's just a CD player. It's a LXI series made by Sears in 1989. And it's very basic. It's essentially a Discman packaged into a sort of a set-top box kind of thing here. The door is pretty much the same thing as you get in a Discman. You have to just push it down to close it and lift it up yourself. I don't know if there's supposed to be a spring on it or not, but I'm guessing not. Then you just push down, and there's not even a power switch on this thing, because when you don't have a disc in, it just shuts off. listen to what it does when you try to record with no tape, and see it's just blinking the tape indicator. Listen to this. It sounds just like those coins in Super Mario Brothers. And of course it has automatic eject. And then you can eject the tape. Goes rather slowly, but I think that's just the way it was designed. And then you close that up. And then you're ready to record. And I'm sure it's not recommended to do this, but I discovered by accident if you leave the lens cap on when you turn it on, it'll shoot it off by itself. That's pretty funny. One interesting thing is the eject button says cassette up.
This program is designed especially for precocious teenagers and for astute youngsters in their 20s and 30s, and of course mature adults in their 40s and over. I spin these classics. Guarantee you won't hear them on any other radio show, anywhere. Like this original 78.
It's a very funny sound when you eject it. It's like a big spring in there.
It's time now to turn the tape over. I'm Ray White, and we're going to sit right here and wait for you. And then we're going to hear some great music from Gato Barbieri. It's called Europa.
Now we can open up the tape compartment. And that's our standard mini DV tape in there, which, as you can see, takes up almost the entire size of the camcorder. So we just pop that back in, close it, it retracts back in, and you can close the lid, and now you're ready to record. And the background music in this video has been brought to you by 105.9 WQXR, classical music station, and 88.3 WBGO Jazz 88 from Newark, New Jersey. Both very good stations for free background music for videos. And it crinkles the tape, and you have to yank on it pretty hard to cut it. So I can imagine this didn't sell that well. To open the case, you just lift up this latch here and pull, and the whole thing folds down. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is how abruptly it ejects. I didn't think it would be like that, but maybe it was. I don't know. I didn't think it would just slam open like that, but maybe that's how they designed it. And this is the first camcorder I've seen where the LCD is spring-loaded, So if you want to open it, all you have to do is hit this release button here, and it swings out all by itself. How cool is that? You get your latch to open the cassette compartment, and then the eject button here. There it is. So you can put in your VHS-C tape, which will work in one of those adapters in a regular VCR. I do have one of those adapters. This is probably made in July 1994, or at least that's when the plastic molding was made. So we just close that latch. There's a little window there to see the tape. It's hard to tell the difference. Here's the fake DVD compartment, which can fit one of these little mini CDs or DVDs. But there's no point to it because there's no drive mechanism. So you can put your disc on there and close the door, but it doesn't do anything. It also has a slot for storing an SD card, such as the fake one it came with. See this little indentation here? It's kind of loose, but you can store an SD card in there. So that's the fake DVD part of it. The fake DVD logo says DVC. As a soft eject, one thing a little odd is that it opens towards the back, whereas most of these back in the day would open towards the front. That's not really a big deal. You can just pop in your tape. These are electronic motorized eject, which is very unusual to see in a PC floppy drive. That was common on older Macintoshes, but not PCs. So these, I didn't even know these were an option on these ThinkPads. And here's that motorized eject. And you may ask, why didn't I get the Golf with a hatchback? Well, I'll show the reason why right here when I push this button on the remote. Self-opening trunk. You can't do that in a hatchback. I think that's the coolest thing there. That's the best part of this little clock radio. The door that opens and closes for the CD player. The markings are a little bit different. What would normally be the eject button is labeled cassette. And that opens the door very abruptly. There's definitely no soft eject on this thing. So we can put in a cassette here. And here you can see the abruptness of the eject. It even shoots out the tape a little bit so you can grab it easily. And when it's done rewinding, it's going to pop up the tape automatically. So that's pretty cool. The 1990 sports car VHS tape rewinder. Okay, I think that was supposed to be the auto eject. It definitely did stop. It's no longer spinning, and it kind of just went boop, and it didn't quite eject all the way. Okay, that was unexpected. Well, it's not quite destroying it as much as it was before, but even with that better stylus, I don't think it's designed to be played at 10 plus grams. Still a lot of flutter in the playback though. At least it's not chewing up the record.
You will repeat in your mind everything you hear on this tape. You will repeat in your mind everything you hear on this tape.
Okay, enough of that. One quirk about this, well, let's do a Doug DeMuro style. Here's another quirk and feature of this deck. If you fast forward, you could pause the fast forwarding. It's the first deck I've ever seen that does that. The pause works on fast forward, not just play. You can see it stopped, and I let go, and it starts again. Hit pause, it stops. It doesn't do that on rewind. You can rewind while it's paused, but the pause works not only on play,
exactly as you want it,
and also record, but also fast forward.
There are so many different types of programs in a variety of formats. You'll be enjoying your personal programmer for years and years to come. Guided imagery programs can take you to new destinations.
So to load a CD, you just pop open the drawer, you put in your CD like that. There's no guides or anything, it just sort of lays in there. You close it. You notice it doesn't start playing right away like any other CD player. That's because it would cost too much to include a sensor to tell it when you put a CD in. So it just sits there until you hit play, and then it starts spinning. Like I mentioned, this is an extremely basic CD player mechanism to such an extent that there's nothing to prevent you from pushing the button to open the drawer when it's playing a CD, even though that's really not good because it'll come to a very abrupt halt. But here we go. So there's nothing to stop you from just abruptly opening it like that, even though that's really not good for the player or for your CD. And as it says, before you use it, you have to open this tray first on the back, which is where the CD comes out when it's done. And actually there's a little tab here which pops up to help support the CD so it doesn't go flopping over. So here we go. And there's no outside eject button, so you just have to lift open this door by hand. And I first tried to fit in the tape like this, like how a microcassette machine works, but you can see it doesn't work like that. Instead, the tape side of it goes in first, and then it fits down like that. Plus, the Mac has something you won't see on any PC floppy drive, and that is auto eject.
You know, Peter, the tape we were listening to was kind of warm after I ejected it. Did you notice that?
Oh, well, that's normal, Callie. See, the cassette player and your tape are fine.
Good, because I do like listening to this tape when I'm doing all the driving.
Hey, now wait a minute. Didn't we already go over this once?
Anyway, moving along.